Everybody, it's Pina here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really nice hexagon bag. It's made of puff stitches on the front and the back panel. Back panel and front is the same exactly. And then you've got this little edging and this nice little strap that goes round it. And it goes round from here, the base, all the way round, and then it starts slimming down into a thinner strap. And this is the interior bit of it all. As you can see, it's just a little slip-in pocket, and you can put quite a few things in there. I've got a purse here, I've got a glasses case here, so you can fit quite a few things in there. And there you go, you can see just there. And it's got a lovely strap, which is a shoulder strap, or it can be an across the shoulder strap, or it can be over the shoulder strap, if you know what I mean. So you can have it both ways. It's not too long and it's not too short. It's just ideal for both ways. So if you want it one way, you can have it that way. If you want it the other way, crisscross across your shoulder, you can do that too. So it's a really convenient, really nice bag. It's made of this really sturdy, I would say it's not really a yarn, it's like a corded yarn. And I've used this before in my video tutorials. It's absolutely fantastic for bags. It's good for pot holders, and it's good for placemats and coasters. It's really, really sturdy, as you can see, very strong, and it's got lovely sort of corded look. And I'm going to show you that yarn, what I use. So this is your bag. This is the hexagon bag, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So let's get started. So for this tutorial, you're going to need a 5mm hook. 5mm hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors and a needle for your ends at the end. And I've used a 5mm hook because I want it to be quite tight and firm, this bag. So you can go up a size if you want it a bit looser. If you want it firmer, just go to 5mm, but that's perfect for this one. And this is what I used. So I used Return of the Mac, and I've used this before in my videos. It's a 200-gram ball, and it is, this color here is linen. Okay, and I'll put the description, the link below as well if you want to buy that. And then I've got the Ecru or Ecru color, which is like a creamy color. So you've got a creamy color, and you've got this linen, sort of taupey linen color, which goes really well with it. So for the center panel of the bag, I'll be using this kind of color. For the outer bit of the hexagon, I'm going to be using this color, and for the straps, I'll be using that color again. So you'll need about, there you go, this is the center, that's the outer bit, and that's that. So you'll need about a ball of this and a ball of this yarn as well. So that's about 400 grams, depending on how long you have your strap. Now if you're going to go for a longer strap, you might need an extra ball of the linen. You might need an extra ball. You won't use the extra ball, but you'll use half of it. But you know, a ball to a ball and a half of this one here, which is the linen, and a ball of this, or a skein of this, I think they call it. But whichever, you need one of each, or 2.5 of these colors. So I'll put the link in the description below so you know what to use and how much to use. So I'll put them aside for now. Okay, so to start with, we're just going to do the middle panel, which is the linen color, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now I'm going to grab my yarn. That's my linen yarn. Okay, and to start with, we're going to grab our hook, and we're going to do a magic ring. So as you probably know how to do one, it's yarn over, crisscross, do a crisscross on your 2 fingers, pull up a loop from underneath like so, pinch your loop, and now what we're going to do is, we're not going to chain anything here. This is something a little bit different. Normally you would chain up 1 or 2, into from a magic ring, but we're not going to do that because we're going to make 6 puff stitches into this ring without any chains. There's no chains in the whole of this. There's no starting chains in the whole of this this panel, of the front panel or the back panel. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep that loop on the hook like so. We're going to yarn over. We're going to insert a hook into the magic ring, pull up a loop and leave it like that. Yarn over, insert our hook into the magic ring, pull up a loop, that's twice. Yarn over, insert a hook into the magic ring, pull up a loop, that's 3 times. Now you should have 7 loops on your hook, including the very first loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 loops on your hook. Okay, so with that, we're going to pull through all 7 by yarning over and just wiggling our hook through, and there you have it. You just made, do a chain, and you just made your first puff stitch. Now, doing this, we're going to be quite, I mean, I like to crochet quite firmly, quite tightly, but if you've got tension, looser tension, then go by all means do that as well. But I'm going to do mine quite tight because I want my panels to be quite firm and solid. So it depends. If you want it a bit floppier, then obviously don't use a bigger hook, or you can use less tight of the tension, if you know what I mean. So we're going to do 6 of these into the magic loop. So that's the first one. Just going to grab some yarn. Okay, so now you yarn over again, holding the magic ring like this. It might seem tight at first, but don't worry. So put your hook in, pull up a loop, that's 1. I'm going to do it again, 3 into that ring. So that's 1, yarn over, that's 2 into the ring. Okay, yarn over and 3 into the ring. Now yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. You should have 7 loops on your hook, and chain 1. Okay, so carry on again because we need 6. So I'm going to show you how to do the rest. So that's yarn over into the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over into the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over into the magic ring, pull up a loop. That's 3 loops pulled up, and you should have 7. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops. Always 7 loops on your hook. Pull through all 7. And then chain 1. Now let's go through to the other again, and we've done 3, we need 3 more. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. 7 on your hook, and pull through, yarn over, pull through all 7 of these loops on your hook, and chain 1. Now don't worry about it bunching up at this stage because it will fall into place in a moment. So yarn over into your magic ring, pull up a loop, put into the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over into your magic ring, pull up a loop. 7 on your hook, pull through all 7. Chain 1. I'm going to continue doing all of them now until I've got 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 1 more to do. Yarn over into the ring. 1, 2, 3. Pull through all 7. And chain 1. Now we've got 6 now. We should have 6. We've got 6 puffs into our ring, and I'm just going to pull this yarn tail end at the back there as tight as I can, you see, because now that we've pulled it as tight as you can, because you want that to be really tight in the middle, we're going to slip stitch now, and we're going to slip stitch in the top of this first puff, just there, see that, just there, into that V there. And just pull your yarn through, make sure it's all very tight. There we go. Okay, so there you have your little circle of 6 puffs into the magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now what we're going to do now, again, we're doing the same thing. We're not chaining anything. Again, in the whole of this project, the front and panel, you do not chain. So we're going to pull this a little bit loose, just a tiny bit like so. Okay, and into that stitch here, that space we just finished, you're going to now do a puff. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook back into there, pull up a loop. So that's 1. Yarn over, insert again. That's 2. Yarn over, insert again. That's 3. So again, that's a puff of 3 loops up and 7 on your hook. And now what we're going to do, we're going to pull through all of these 7 loops. That's a bit tight because I've made it tight. If you're making it looser, it should be easier. So chain 1. Okay, now I'm just going to shift that over like so, because we're going to do 2 in each of these spaces between each of these very first puffs that we did in the first row. We're going to do two puffs in each of these stitches next. So that's 1 puff into there, 1 puff stitch. We're going to do another one, so you're going to squeeze another one into there. So just pull that over slightly like so, and then go back in. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, now 7 on your hook again and pull through all 7. Chain 1. Now that might look a bit odd to start with, but when you get to the other side and you've slip stitched into that, it's going to look perfect. So I'm just going to go into the next space, which is just between these 2 puffs here. Okay, I'm going to do the same, yarn over and do 2 puffs into there. So seven on your hook, pull through all 7. Chain 1. Back into the same space because we're doing 2 puffs. That's 1, 2 and 3 loops into that space. Okay, and then yarn over and pull through all 7 and chain 1. Or don't forget to chain 1. So I'm going to go in again, pull up a loop, in again, pull up a loop, in again, pull up a loop. Okay, 7 on your hook, and then chain 1. Now continue, I'm going to let you continue doing 2 of these in between each space, and I'll meet you before you get to the last puff and show you how to finish off. Okay, so I've come to the end now. I've got 1 more here to do, well 2 in the same space. So I'm just going to do my 2 here again, my last 2 puffs into this space. So that's 1 and 2. All right, pull through and chain 1. Remember to chain 1 at the end. So now that you've done your 2 puff stitches there, we're going to now join on to this side, and for that we're going to insert a hook into the top of this puff just there, insert a hook, and we're going to just tighten that up and pull through like so. So you now got a, there we go. I'll just take my hook out to straighten that up. So you can play around with it now and straighten it up. Because it's such a sturdy corded yarn, you can play around with it and it will go into the position that you want it to go to. So that's your first 2 rounds. You've got your 6 in the middle, you've got 2 in every stitch. Now what we're going to do is something slightly different. We're going to the 3rd row. Now the 3rd row, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same again. You just pull the loop a little bit, you know, a little bit longer so it will reach, and we're going back into this space again. Okay, so we're not going into this space, we're going back into this space where we just finished, and we're going to do 1 puff stitch. So yarn over and do your puff as before. 3 loops pulled up from that space. That's 2, 3. 3 loops and then 7 on your hook as normal. Pull through all 7. Chain 1. Now we're going to work into this space 1 only. In the next space we're going to work 2 puffs, because what we're doing now is we're making the hexagon shape. So we need to do 2 puffs in each of the 2 puffs that you see, and then in between you do a 1 puff. Any space in between is 1 puff. So that's 1 puff. Start with 1 puff. Now we're in the where there's 2 here in a stitch, and we're going to do 2 puffs again into there. So I'm going to yarn over and do my 3 loops. 1, 2 and 3. Pull through all 7, chain 1, and then make a bit of space and go back into that stitch again and do another puff. There we go. 7 on the hook and pull through 7, chain 1. Now we've got a space here, and we're going to do 1 puff into that space, 2 puffs into the other, 1 puff, 2 puffs. So wherever you see the 2 puffs, you know that you have to put 2 puffs in there. When you see a single space, you put 1 puff, sorry. And so now we have 1 puff there. So insert your hook and do just 1 puff into there. Okay, pull through, and then I'm going to chain 1, and that's 1 puff there, and 2 puffs into there. So that's 1 puff, and then chain 1. Remember to chain 1 in between each and every puff. So in we go again. And then chain 1. So you see the pattern now. So continue all the way around where you've done 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so that it looks like this part of the central panel of the bag. So as you can see, the first, second, third row we're on, 2 puffs, 1 puff, 2 puff, 1 puff, 2 puff, 1 puff, 2 puff. It follows the same pattern all the way around the third row. So I'll meet you back here when you're at your last puff. Okay, so I've done my last 2 puffs in the last 2 between the last 2 puff stitches, and I'm going to chain my 1 again, and we're going to now slip stitch in the top of this very first puff like so, and just slip stitch into that stitch, pull it tight a bit, and there you have it. So I'm just going to take my hook out and show you, just flatten it out like so. And there you have your little sort of semi-hexagon shape. It's not looking quite hexagonish yet. It's a very subtle hexagon, actually. It's not particularly sharp looking. So this is your 3 rounds of the middle panel. Now we're going to do the next colour. Now you can continue if you want in the same colour and do it all in one colour, but I'm going to show you how to change colours now and do the Ecru colour. So I'm going to grab my other colour, and then I'll show you how to tie off this bit. Okay, so I've got my other colour ready, and now what you're going to do here, we're just literally going to pull this out a little bit, little bit of a tail end, okay, and then snip it off. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of a tail end, snip it off, and there you have it. So now that I've snipped that off, I'm going to sew my ends in before the next round. You don't have to. You can either tie that in as you go along, or you can sew it in. But I'd rather sew it in because I want it to be secure. So I'm going to show you how to sew this first, and I'm going to get my needle and thread it. And it'll be good to use a big-eyed needle for this because this is a thickish yarn. So I've got a needle here that's pretty big-eyed. And I can squeeze that through. There we go. Okay, so just pop your needle anywhere sort of behind any of these stitches here. Just going to go in the back and pull tight, so that's nice and neat. Okay, so there you are, you've sealed that part ready for the next few rows. So I'm just going to sew that in wherever I find a space. Like so. And then in down the bottom here, so it's really secure. Because this bag's going to have a lot of things in and out, you have to make sure this is secure enough so all the ends don't come out while you're in and out of your bag. So just going to sew that through, going to sew that through there. And then back maybe this way. There we go. That's it. I think that's about right now. Just gonna cut this off, give that a tug, and then just snip it off. So that's that. And then I'm going to do the center panel just here. Okay. Right. And again, secure that well as well. There we go. Just one more time, I think. And then just through there. That'll do. Okay, so I'm just going to snip that off and make sure that's nice and secure. So there you go. So now you've done your little center three rows or 3 rounds. I'm going to now change color. So I've got my Ecru or cream, and I'm going to grab my yarn, and in any of these spaces, it doesn't matter which one, where you go, we're going to put our hook in. So I'm going to put my hook in there, for example, and I'm going to pull my yarn through just like that and get the loose ends, just the tail end, and we're going to sort of work in. We're not going to do any knots or anything, we're just going to work this end in as we go along. So I've got one loop on my hook already. Okay, now we've got to go in again, so we're going in 3 times, so that's 1, 2 and 3, just like the other stitches we did before. So we should have 7 on the hook, so 3 and 4, 7, pull through, chain 1, and there you go. Just pull that tight a little bit. So you've now attached your this color here, and now for the next bit, because that's just going to be 1 puff stitch there. Now the pattern's going to change now because we're branching out. So we've got 1 there, 2 in there, of course, because that's where all the 2s are, the 2 puffs to form the hexagon. Here we've got a space, so we're putting 1 there, putting 1 in that space, 2 in there, 1 in there, 1 in there, 2 in there. So it's 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2. That's the pattern for the next round. So I'm just going to pop my hook into the next space here and do 2. Yarn over and just pop your hook in, and again do 2 puffs. So this is the first puff. That's the first puff. So that pull through, chain 1, yarn over, set your hook, you can make these looser if you feel like you're struggling to go in and out. You don't have to make it as tight as I am. And I'm just going to pull through. And then the next 2 is going to be 1 1 and 2. So yarn over, and we're going to do 2 separate puffs now and 2 different stitches. Just grab some yarn. And as you can see, I'm just weaving my tail end as I go along, which makes it easier, more secure as well. So just pull through. Okay. And chain one. Okay, now just carry on all the way around in the same pattern, where the next one's going to have 2 puffs into there. That's 1 puff. Chain 1, and then another puff, because that's 2 there. We need 2 there. Okay, and then chain 1. Right, so you can see the pattern again forming. Okay, so carry on all the way round until I meet you at the other end. So 1 2 sorry, let's start with 1, but 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2. Okay, and I'll see you at the other side. Okay, so we've come to the end of this round, and I'm going to do my last chain because I've done my last puff, and there's another puff, and then you've got 2. So I'm just going to do my chain, and then I'm going to slip stitch in the top of this puff here, the V there, that's just on the top of that puff. So put your hook in, pull up a loop, and just pull through to the other side and tighten that up. So I've now done all my puff stitches on this first round of the Ecru. So let's continue the second round of the Ecru colour, or if you're doing one colour, it's 1 2 3 4, the 5th round. And for this, again, we're doing the same principle, because as this thing is expanding outwards, we're going to add more puffs in between the 2 puffs in the corners. So we're just going to pull up the yarn a little bit looser so that we can get in, and then into the same space here again, we're going to yarn over and do a puff. So that's 1 2 and 3. Pull through all of them, chain 1, and that's your very first puff. And then we're going to go into the next space, which is just there, and do the next puff, single puff. So that's and a chain. Now we're coming to the rows of 2s here, and we're going to do 2 in there as normal. So that's 1 puff, one puff and a chain, and the second puff, one, 2 and 3 goes in there. That's the second puff, and a chain. Now the in between each of the 2 corner puff stitches, we've done 2 in betweens before. Now it's 3 in between the 2 corners puffs. So you do 1 puff there, 1 puff, but 1 puff there, that's 3. You do your 2 puffs as normal, 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 in each of these 3 spaces, 2 puffs into there, 1 puff, 2 puff, 3 into each of these 3 spaces, and 2 puffs, and all the way round exactly the same thing. So continue the same way, 1 2 3, 2 puffs, 1 2 3 and 2 puffs, and I'll meet you at the other end when we finish this round. Okay, so we've come to the end of this round of the Ecru, and we're going to join now. So I've done my last puff stitch there, and I'm just going to join in the top of this puff stitch. So I do my chain first, okay, and then we're just going to go into that V there and just pull through and pull through again. Here we go. So I'm just going to pull my hook up and straighten this all up, because this is, you just, you know, straighten it up because it pulls up in any direction you want it, it will sit. So that's it, that's how it looks. Now we're going to do the next round, the final round of this colour, and that is also similar to before. Okay, so I'm just going to start off. So again, you go into this space like before, pull up a loop a little bit longer and yarn over and go into that and do your first puff. So that's 1, 2 and 3. And chain 1. So that's your very first puff, and second one goes into the next stitch. Four on your hook and pull through. Chain 1. Chain 1. There we go. Okay, next one, puff stitch again, 1 puff stitch. Chain 1, 2 into there. Chain 1, just going to go into there again. And then chain 1. Now it's quite straightforward from here. So I've done 1, 2, 3. Of course, when we finish off, we're going to have 1 single puff at the end there. So you have 4 in between the two puffs in the corners. So I've done my 2 puffs there. Now you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 this time, as opposed to 3. So carry on and do the same method again. 4 between the corners, 2 in the corners, 2 in the corners, and so on. And I'll meet you back here when you've done your third and final round of this colour. Okay, so we've reached our third and final round of the Ecru or cream colour, and I'm just on my last chain there, and I'm just going to slip stitch. But you could normally slip stitch in the top of here like so, okay. But what I'm going to do is an invisible join, which I have a video on that as well. You can check that out. I'm going to do an invisible join because this is the last round, and I just want everything to look finished off. So because it's the last round, I'm just going to do a different type of join. So what you do for this, just snip your yarn off, leave a bit of a tail end, and with that, you're just going to pull that out like so. So you've got this V at the top and this coming out. Then you're going to thread your yarn into your needle like this. And once you've done that, you're going to grab your work and just at the top of this V here, we're going to close this V with this side. So on the top of here, you're just going to go to the back of it and come through like that. And then just pull it through. And make sure you pull it through, not too tight, not too loose either, so that it's kind of, it looks like another V in the middle. So I'm just going to go into this V now, through to the back, like so, pull it through, and then you've got an extra V there, which is just like the other V's in between. There you go. Doesn't look any different, does it? So from there, we're just going to tie our ends in anywhere at the back. Just give that a little tug so it's a little bit tighter. That should be fine. Yes, that's fine. And then again, just thread your needle through any old gap that you see. I'm just going to go through there and underneath this stitch here. Okay, so now that you've tied your ends in, you're going to make 2 of these, and once you've made 2 of these identical, just stretch them out so they're nice and flat, and they will stay flat. Okay, so you need to make 2 of these, and then I'm going to come back to you and show you how to make the straps. See you in a moment. Okay, so here we are. I've done 2 of my hexagon panels, as you can see, and I've tied in or woven in all my ends at the back. So there's no ends showing. And now what we're going to do is the straps, where the straps are actually a certain diameter, certain width all the way around here, and then when you come to the top opening, the straps actually get thinner, so it gives it that more delicate look, not so much of a chunky strap. So I'm going to show you how to do that. That's something different. So let's get our linen colour, or whichever colour that you're using, and we'll start with that. So I'm going to put these aside for now because we're going to make the straps first, and then we're going to attach, and then after that I'm going to show you how to attach them. So I'll just pop them aside for now. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do this part of the strap, which is the bit that covers the side panels of the bag. Okay, the bit that goes in between the side panels rather, and then that's the thicker part, and then you've got the thinner strap, which is also part of the same strap, but it gets thinner because then we start decreasing and so on. So I'm going to show you how to start with this bit first. So let's get started. For that you'll need your hook and your linen, and just do a loop onto your hook. There's a slip knot onto your hook, and then from here you're going to chain 5. So we're going to chain up 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 chains. Now we're going to do half double crochets into each of these chains, but to do that, first of all we're going to chain up 2. So 1, 2, and into the 3rd chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, this one here, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, put a hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 of these loops on the hook. Okay, and that's your very first half double. So yarn over into the next chain, we're going to do another half double crochet. So yarn over and pull through 3 for a half double. Okay, so that's the second. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up another loop and pull through all 3. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. Got 2 more to make 5. So I'm just going to go into the last 2 chains to make 5 half doubles, and that's 4 and number 5. Okay, so there's your 5 half double crochets. Now we're going to chain up 2 from here, 1, 2, turn your work, okay, and continue again doing 5 half doubles. So yarn over into this space here, just there, pull up a loop and pull through 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over into the next one, do another half double, and then continue along doing half doubles until you've got 5 again. And there's the last one here, don't forget that one, the V here, just here. I'm going to go into that one and do another half. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not counting the chain, that's just the turning chain, so don't count that one, but that's just your turning chain. So chain 2 again, turn over, and again you're going to do half doubles. over those. There you go. So now your strap is taking form. So that's the side bit of your strap, as you can see. It's taking its form. Now you need about 39 rows of these 5 half doubles. Chain 2, 5 half doubles, chain 2, turn your work, 5 half doubles, all the way. Continue with the same pattern until you've got about 39 rows. Now, depending on your tension of your bag when you've crocheted the panels will depend how many rows, but these have to, this bit of the strap has to fit nicely from the corner of the top of your hexagons here, the 2 corners just there, and on the back as well. That's where your strap has to start and end, okay, until we start doing the decreases and the increases to get it to this size. So as I said, continue 39 rows and then measure it over your 2 panels and see if it fits nice and snug, you know, both ends at the corners as well, just snug just there where the corner is. It's got to stop there. Okay, so I'll let you do that, 39 rows or whichever, how many that fits your panels. Okay, and I'll come back to you when you've done that. Okay, so I've done my part of my strap, which is the 39 rows I've managed to make, again 39, but obviously by your tension you judge how many rows. Now this is going to fit around the hexagon and it fits perfectly because I'm going to need to have it there and there. So as you can see, there we go. You want it quite tight, not too tight, not too loose. So you've got the hexagon corners here and here. You can see the corners of the hexagon, which is where the 2 the increases of the bobbles are there. That's where the corners are, and that's where your strap's going to start and end. This part of the strap, the wide part of the strap, as you can see. So I've got 2 pieces here actually. I'll show you with the one. So of course we're going to attach it to the hexagon around there, and then from here onwards is where we start the sort of decreasing to make the strap thinner, so that the top of the strap is going to be thinner than this base bit. So it sounds complicated, but it's not too bad. So now your the length of the strap is entirely up to you. The shoulder strap bit, that's entirely up to you. So if I grab the one I've made before, I can show you. So this bit can be as long as you want. Now this one, I think I've made it, let's have a look how many inches that is. It's about 46 inches. Now I'm going to measure it now on camera so you can have a look. So this is just right to fit over a shoulder, like a shoulder strap or a crisscross strap, which goes right across your chest. And I think this would be the ideal size, but you can then judge yourself when you're making it, make it to the size that you want it. So I'm going to go just from here where it's, see where it's decreased to 3. I'm going to start there and measure it and see how long that is. About, I think it's about 46 inches long. But let's just have a look and see. So it's about, yes, it's about 46, 47 inches long. Okay, so mine is that size, but by all means do it the size that you require for your, you know, for your fitting. So I'm just going to grab my strap now again and show you what to do next. Now, okay, so now essentially what we're going to do is we're going to be doing our decreasing, and to do that we're going to go to 4 and then to 3, and once we've reduced to 3 stitches we can then work the rest of the strap. So I'm just going to chain 2 from here, 1, 2, turn the work, okay, skip this very first stitch, yarn over and go into the next one and do a half double crochet again, yarn over into the next one, half double crochet, skip the next stitch and into the last one here, just another half double crochet. There we are. Now we're going to chain up 2 again, 1, 2, turn the work again. So we're going to reduce this to 3 a row of 3 half double crochets. So yarn over. Now what we're going to do here, slightly different, we're going to do a decrease where we put our hook into this stitch, pull up a loop, put our hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all on your hook. Yarn over into that last stitch there, insert your hook, pull up a loop and pull through all 3. So now you have a reduction of 3 half double crochets. So that gives you the start to do the next few rows. So I'm going to chain up 2 again, turn the work. All you do now is you put your hook into each stitch, so that's yarn over into that stitch, pull up a loop, do a half double crochet, yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop and half double crochet. And now you have 3 stitches including the chain 2. Okay, so we're going to work all the way this way. So you've got a reduction here, and chain up 2 again, 1, 2, turn your work. We're just going to yarn over and insert our hook into the next stitch here, do a half double crochet, yarn over into the last stitch and do another half double crochet. So again 3 stitches including the chain 2. So we're going to include the chain 2 here all the way as part of your strap, and I'm just going to do another round, another row of 3s, 3 half doubles into these stitches here. Okay, so now all you need to do is work your way up all the way until you've got your strap the length that you want it. Now I've done mine, as I said, 46, about 46, 47 inches long, but you can go longer or shorter, it's entirely up to you. Work your way until you get to your very last 3, and I'll show you how to increase so we can attach this to the other side of the strap. Okay, once you've done your strap, which I've done now, and this is about 46.5, 47 inches in length, just like the other one, and as you can see that it's decreasing here like I did before, and it's going all the way down the same 3 half double crochets all the way down, and then you've come to the other end. Now when you come to this end, we're going to increase because we need to do this exactly the same as this side of the strap, and then we sort of attach it to the bag. Before we attach the strap both together, we attach it to the bag first. So in order to do that, we need to get this exactly the same as that. So from the three half doubles, we have to make that into a four half doubles. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, like so, and then from there we're just going to turn our work, and we need 4. So as we've got 2 spaces left, this is counting as a stitch, so that's 1 into the same stitch, you do another half double, that's 2 into the next stitch, you do 2 half doubles, so 1 and 2. So you've just now, that's now increased to 4 stitches from 3. Now we need to widen it a further 5 half doubles. So we're going to chain 2, turn our work. Now this chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to put another one into there. So yarn over, put half double into the same stitch. We're going to put 2 into this middle stitch here, 2 half doubles into that middle stitch just there, and then 2 half doubles into this last stitch. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, so now you've made your increase so that it matches the decreased side. Okay, So now when you attach this bit to the other end of the strap, it's going to, we can sew it together and it will come together just like the other side. But we're not going to sew them just yet. We're going to keep it as it is for now. And I'm going to just take this strap here, this other end, and I'm just going to tie this end in, this tail end, and then we're going to start attaching this to the one of the panels. We're going to start attaching it. So for that, you'll also need some stitch markers, and I've got a few stitch markers here. I'm just going to put a few there. So if you've got any stitch markers, please do get them, because it helps position everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie this end in, and I'll meet you right back. Okay, now that I've tied my end in, I'm just going to go to the other end a minute, and we are going to snip off this bit for now, because this bit we're going to leave a tail end so that we can attach this to the other side, okay, later on. So I'm going to literally just cut a bit of yarn off, enough to sew those two bits together. So I'm just going to cut an adequate amount and then just pull that through for now. Okay, so you need that tail end for later. Now what we're going to do, we're going to position this onto the panel, one of the panels. It doesn't matter which one, because they're the same both sides. So with this end here, I'm just going to get the corner of your hexagon bit, the increasing row here, just there. We're going to attach this with a stitch marker. So basically just get the corner of this strap, the thick end of the strap, and attach it to the middle of there, so you know that that's where it's going to go. Now you can, and then all on the other side, go to the other side. So as you can see, I'll just zoom out for you. So now what you've got here is the other side, and we need to position that as well, so we get it in the right position. So I'm just going to grab another stitch marker and pop my stitch marker into that other increased corner, just there. Okay, and then I'm going to position this nicely. It should fit perfectly well if you just position it round your hexagon, and you need to get to the row where it's the 5 half doubles and the chain 2. So as you can see, you've got the 5 half doubles, the chain 2. So where these 5 half doubles are, we need to attach it. So I'm going to put my pin into there, my marker. Okay, so now we've got this positioned. As you can see, it's nice and snug. So when you put it onto your bag, when we sew it onto the bag, it will be nice and snug. Okay, you can then also, if you've got any more stitch markers, obviously position the other corners if you want. You've got another corner here of the hexagon. You can put that stitch marker in there if you want. You don't have to, but you can do. I'm just going to go at the bottom actually for now. So make sure this is all in position. There you go, that's in position. Yeah, that's in position. So I'm just going to put another stitch marker just to hold it all together when you sew it, because it makes it a lot easier to hold it all together while you're sewing it together. So here we are, we're just going to just put it together like this. Okay, and then I'll put another one just here. Yeah, here's fine. Oops. There we go. Right. So now we've got it into position. This strap hasn't been sewn on yet, sewn together. So we've got that in its position. So you've got 5 half doubles from this side and 5 half doubles from this side into these corners, and you've got the rest of it in position. So all we need to do now is sew that together. Now to do the sewing, we're going to do like a whip stitch, or I think it's called a reverse single crochet, I think it's called, and that will give it that lovely edging like this it is on this bag here. You can see that nice edging just there. So that's the effect we're going for. Okay, in order to start that, we need to do this. Now you can either use your needle to do this, or you can use a crochet hook. Now if you do use your needle, you just do the same thing, you just do a whip stitch, but I think it looks better with the crochet hook when I do it with the crochet hook. But also, if you are doing it with a crochet hook, you might find this hook a bit too large to get in all these layers that you're going to be going into. So I suggest a smaller hook for this, and this one here is a 4.0mm hook, and it's a little bit smaller and able to get into the gaps that you're going to go in, because it's quite stiff yarn. So the smaller the hook will be better to get through the layers of yarn. So I'm going to use the smaller hook today, not the needle. And to start with, we're going to grab the yarn like that, and then we're going to literally just insert our hook, take this stitch marker out first, and insert our hook into that corner space like so, and we're going to grab the top of that side of the straps, and then we're going to get our yarn and pull it through with your hook, or you know, if you're using a needle then you just do it just with your needle, but I'm going to use the hook. Pull it through like so, so that it comes through both sides. You need to make sure it goes through the back side and the front side like so, and then you tighten it up. Okay, so that's your very first start to it. And what we do now, we're going to now chain one, so we're holding it all together. So we chained one there. Now what we do, we're going to do what you call like a reversed single crochet. So for this, I'm just going to go in under like this, into that stitch there from the panel, and into any stitch from the back. Now try and grab not too much, you don't want it too bulky, so I'm going to grab one strand from the back, yarn over and pull the loop through. Now you need to pull through all of this, so it's, there you go, can be a bit tight. Then you do a single crochet like so. You might want to make these stitches a little bit loose if you find you're struggling to get through, and I'm just going to carry on now. So again, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go twist my hook and go into that single crochet and grab a bit of the yarn from behind. Okay, it's not all of it, it's just a little bit. Okay, and then you just yarn over and pull through all of these. So just there we go. This is why I've used a smaller hook, because with the bigger hook it might be a bit too tight. Unless your tension is very loose, then that's fine, you carry on with the big hook. So we just go through these two loops like a single crochet. Again, turn your hook under and through the V, and grab a bit of the back, yarn over, and then pull it through like so. And then you just do a normal single crochet just like that, and then again underneath into the V just there, and into one of the back stitches just there, yarn over, and then pull through everything until you've got two on your hook, and then you just do a normal single crochet. Now that's like a reverse single crochet, or a crab stitch I think you can call it. So you need to carry on doing that, so keep going until you've done all the way round basically. Reverse single crochet like so. So it's going to look like that as you're attaching it. Now you've got to carry on and not missing any stitches as you go along. Make sure you get all these stitches as you go along and keep going in every single one of the front. It doesn't matter about the back so much, but every one of the front V's you need to grab and bring it through again into the front V's. There you go, back one of the back loops, and then just bring it through like so. Okay, into the front V's, grab a bit of the back, bring it through, bring it through, there you go. Okay, so that's what you need to do all the way around. Now when you come to this corner, don't miss that corner either, all the way around until you come to the other side. Just continue the same way in every single one of these V's, and a loop from the back as well. Just grab a loop from the back until you get to the other side, and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so I've come to the end of joining it to the panel, and I'm now going to continue all the way around this bit here, the top of the bag, the open part of the bag, and join it onto the other side so it all looks complete. So here we go. I'm just going to put this on the side there. Now just continue with the yarn, put your needle in your hook into your yarn, and continue. And I'm going to go into the next stitch here. So I'm just going to go into there, and I'm going to complete the last bit of the join of this bit here, because we're not going to go all the way up obviously. So it's got to be the last 5 half double crochet row, 1 2 3 4 5, and chain 2. So make sure it's in that last 5 stitch row. So I'm just going to go into there, to that last bit there, hook your hook into that last panel there, and then what I'll do is just grab my hook, pull it through like so, and then do your last stitch. So there you go. So now that it starts escalating to be the slim part of the strap. So anyway, so carry on all the way round. Okay, so now that we've come to the end, I'm just going to stick my hook into this last stitch here, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2. Now what you're going to do is literally just cut that off. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a tail end there, cut it off, and then just let go. Now that is going to be sewn into your, that'll be sewn inside. So that's fine as it is. Now that's your front panel finished, attached to the panel, the strap, sorry. So now all we need to do now is this. We need to now just sew in your ends. You just sew them in behind. I'll show you how to do the crab stitch end, so that you know how it goes. So grab your needle, like so, and then we're just going to put our end literally just in there somewhere. You can even thread it through there. Okay, so it gives it that nice finish, as you can see. Okay, so continue doing that, and I'm just going to continue with my ends, and I'll meet you back here in a moment to show you how to finish off the next stage of this oh, got a bit tangled up here. Next stage of this attachment of the back panel and the front panel. Okay, once you've tied all your ends in and you're almost done now, the only last thing to do is to add the back panel, and that is exactly the same way as you did the front panel. So if I just grab the back panel, you can pin it together again just like you did with the front panel with your stitch markers. So I've got my stitch marker in the top left hand corner of the increased puff stitches, and I'm going to just attach it to the top of this strap bit here, and then on the other side again you need to attach. Now it needs to be attached again, like I said, the last set of 6 half doubles, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, and it's just on the top of there because you've got the 4s and the 3s after that. And I'm just going to put my stitch marker in the top of there and attach it to the corner, the other corner. Okay, now once you've done that, you can then start pinning all around if you want to, or you can just leave it like that, but I like to pin it all around so it's nice and secure, and then I can just work as normal. I'll just pop that in there like before. And I'm just going to put it on the corners, all the corner stitches. And then the last one here. There we go. So once you've done that, you've attached it provisionally like so. You're going to do exactly the same thing. You're going to start from here like you did on the other side. You're going to use your needle or your hook depending on what you want to use, and you want to do the same again all the way around to the other side until you come to the top of here, and I'll show you how to attach the rest of this strap, and that will then attach to here like that. So I'll meet you right back when you've done this side as well. Okay, so I've come to the other side of the bag. I've done all of this and I've worked myself round, and this is the second panel we've joined, and there's the side bit, and there's the first panel, second panel. So just go ahead and work your way all the way round, making sure that this last set of 5 half doubles match up with this corner, and then just go along on its own doing the rest of this crab stitch all the way around, and then join it on here with a slip stitch, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've come to the end of this round, and we're just going to, like we did before, we're going to cut that off, and we're going to now just sew that in the back of your works. So I'm going to show you how you do that. So we're just going to grab our bit of yarn again, put it through a needle like so. Right, so now all we need to do is just put our needle into the back somewhere. I'm just going to insert it there. And then that will then lock that into place, and of course just pull it tight, and then you need to just make sure you sew it in into the inside the bag somewhere. Right, just want to show you how it looks. So it finishes it off really nicely, and then you need to obviously do this one as well. Sew in that tail end inside your bag, and then I'll show you, when you've done that, I'll show you how you actually join this end to the other end of the bag. Okay, so now that you've done both panels, you've joined them really nicely with the crab stitch, and you're going to now do the final stage, and that is joining this strap. So I'm just going to get it the right way round because you don't want it twisted while you're joining this. So for this, we're just going to do this. I'm going to grab my needle for this. So we've got our needle, and remember we've got our tail end here still. Okay, so we've left it just as it is, nothing's been changed, and just make sure that your strap is totally straight. You don't want a twisted strap, you want it to go round. I'm just going to make sure that's, yeah, that's perfectly straight now, and we're going to join this end to the rest of the strap. Now in order to join it, we need to grab, you know, put our needle on first to our yarn end, and just going to thread that through again. I would recommend getting a needle that's a bit sort of bigger, because I have one here but it's not huge, so it's kind of a bit of a struggle getting the yarn in, but once you've got it in it's fine. But if you've got a bigger eye on your needle, that's even better. So there you go. So I've put my needle in securely. So now that you've got your needle threaded through your yarn end, you're going to sew this into the top of this, and you're going to match in the stitches. Now I've got 5 half double crochets, 1 2 3 4 5. I'm going to go into 5 of these as well, and just use your discretion here where you're going to put your needle. So I've got 1 2 3 4 5, so I'm just going to go into there first, like so. Grab part of that and go into the inner stitch of the back loop, sorry, of the very first stitch, and just pull that tight like so. Then you go into the back loop, just go into any loop from here and into the back loop from there. Put your needle in, and again do another little stitch. Okay, tighten that all up, and then again you want to go into one of these loops here and into the back loop of this front bit of the strap and pull that through. Now you want to carry on doing that. That means you have to level it off with the other side, see, so it's all the same. And just going to go into the one of these loops and into the back of this loop, pull that tight, go into the back of that one and into the back loop of that one, and I'm going to do one more stitch just there, just to seal it off so it's nice and secure. It's not really too much of an issue really where you put it, as long as it's nice and level like that. So I'm going to do one more stitch just there, just to bring it into, there we go. Just pull your yarn through like so. So when you bring your strap upwards, it's all very aligned, sorry, it's all aligned just like the other side. So that side and this side are exactly the same. Okay, so now all you need to do is just tidy it up with your, you know, sewing in your ends again. So you need to just go in and out of the, just put your yarn at the back here, there you go, and just sew in and out, just weave it in and out like so. Just going to go through there. Got to be careful with this yarn that you don't get the go through any strands. You want to pull through the loops, not the strands, because then you find it's a bit of a tug of war. So just make sure you get the loop itself, not into, don't go right into the strand, otherwise you'll find it difficult to sort of go in and out. So I'm just going to go underneath the loop exactly like that. Any loop that you find, just put your needle through like that. And then I'm just going to go into that one there. This is just to make it secure, really secure, because you really don't want the straps coming apart. So I'm just going to turn my work like that. So once you've done all that, you need to just tie your end into the inside of the bag, you know, go downwards and just literally go in so it doesn't show. Once you've done that, continue doing that until you feel like this is really secure and, you know, it doesn't feel loose or anything. So I'll let you get on with tying in your ends and I'll meet you right back. Okay, here we are. Here's the finished product, and as you can see, there's the front, there's the back, there's the side bits all the way round until you get to the top, and then you've got the very thin strap on the top, which is, you know, nice and floppy enough to go on your shoulder. And then you've got the opening here, got loads of space in there, you can see, and you can put many things. You can put your glasses in there, you can put your phone goes in there, and many more things. You can fit quite a few things in there actually. There you go. Well, I hope you like this tutorial and I hope you do make one of these. Let me know how you got on, and if you want to see more of my videos, please like and subscribe and come back again to see some more. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.